Hey yo, welcome to the studio.
These are for you. These are for me, and we're all mic'd up.
We're all mic'd up, baby.
Alright, so see, we got our little backup mics here. We've got our little Blue Yeti here. We've got our iMac, and this is our setup.
3, 2, 1.
Howdy ho, you handsome hunk. Grab a snack and gain some chunk. If your day is great or really sunk, we hope to help you shake the funk. So if you're good to hear some junk, buckle up, it's the Junk Monk Podcast.
Okay, so our new theme song.
New theme song. Oh my god.
Hello and welcome to the Junk Monk Podcast. I'm your host Kandyce Sloan, who you know from Instagram at Hardens and Hard Hats.
And I'm Noah, your co-host, who you know from Right Now.
If this is your first time listening, let us fill you in. We are watching and reviewing every episode of the USA hit TV show Monk right here each week.
And we are going to do so while eating a little junk. So I've got my junk food here, which is some Oreos, my favorite.
Yes, off-brand, so no bias here. And I've got my favorite snack, as mentioned previously, Flaming Hot Cheetos. So I'm going to go ahead and pop one.
I would pop one,
and
but
let's
I haven't opened mine yet.
Let's see how freaking puffing I do, alright?
Sweating.
So it begins. Also, you must know I have seen every episode of Monk. I'm a huge fan. Started watching in about 2007 and for the most part watched it as it aired.
I've seen the pilot episode and those we've done on the show, and a few scattered here and there in different seasons.
So, if you're ready to start the show, Toby...
Whoa. Toby, don't you take it away. Toby, don't take it away.
Okay. That's right. This is season 5. All new, coming out with all the stops. So, you've already heard our new theme song.
Yeah.
So, hope you liked it.
Buckle up.
It's the Junk Monk Podcast.
Okay,
that was our new intro. If you have been listening to the show, you know our little spiel that we go through at the beginning of every show before we get started. This one is brand spanking new because guys, get ready for this. So, when we started the show on Instagram, you know we're big on Instagram, huge, wild, go follow us. I sent a DM to Will S. Choi from the Drunk Monk podcast where we stemmed our show off of, right? I sent him a DM. I sent one to Keiko also. But about a week or so ago, Will actually replied to my DM and was saying, hey guys, awesome, go for it. I kind of asked for his blessing, whether or not, I hope, we kind of already started it, so kind of, hopefully you guys like the show, or, hopefully you're okay with us, taking some of your ideas and kind of running with them. And he replied, absolutely, go for it, go nuts, it's all you.
So we have their blessing.
So basically, we have the Drunk Monk blessing.
Yeah.
And while, of course, every episode since, we've been giving credit where credit is due, because obviously it still is going forward. However, with this blessing, we're going to, switch our intro just a little bit and kind of just, carry on as if it's our own show, Yeah. And kind of a new chapter for the Drunk Monk series.
Yeah, so big round of applause for Keiko and Will letting us use our podcast and stem off theirs. Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so thanks Will and Keiko. Thank you so much. We are still going to try our hardest to do your show justice because, yeah, we love it. Okay, well, tell them how we're recording.
Oh, well, basically, we are also recording live right now. So if you want to see all the mistakes that we made, there's already so much that we've made. Honestly. All the behind the scenes, our snacks, what they look like, our setup looks like, and you can meet Little Monk right here.
Oh, that's not as exciting as it is on your desk.
Oh, that's true.
On your desk it makes a noise.
It wobbles.
It goes whoa.
Oh, dang.
That's so yeah, you have to come to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Junk Monk Podcast YouTube channel to see Little Monk in action because you can't hear him now.
And you can see Toby.
You can see Toby.
Yeah.
Guys, Toby has never before been seen. Like, this is like monumental. Hopefully he's not camera shy. But are we ready to start? Are we ready for the big Toby reveal? I mean, again, guys, I'm sorry, you can't see him here. He doesn't talk, so he's not really... You're just going to hear his wonderful playing as usual. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, if you guys are ready, YouTube channel, here we go. Let's start season 5, y'all.
Season 5. Here's what happened. Okay, so season 5 premiere. Season 5, episode 1. Hit it, Kandyce.
Alright, this is Mr. Monk and the Actor. Season 5, episode 1. So here's what happened. In the opening scene, we see a married man named Jack Levitt fooling around with a woman he picked up that evening at a bar. When they start having a pillow fight, one of the pillows knocks down a teddy bear that has a camcorder inside. See, Jack realizes she plans to video them and then shake him down for money. They begin fighting over the tape, and the woman hits her head on the counter, killing her instantly. After the open, we see the gang who has just learned that a film crew is making a Hollywood movie about their previous case, Mr. Monk and the Astronaut. An actor named David Ruskin will be following Monk around to learn about him and get into character. The first clues of the case are the empty teddy bear and some specks of glitter in the room. This comes in handy later when a pawn shop owner is murdered and the weapon found at the scene has the same glitter. Meanwhile, Dave Ruskin is getting way far gone in his method acting of Adrian, which leads Mr. Monk to Natalie's apartment to vent his frustrations. When he sees a note that Julie has ripped up to hide from her mother, he solves the case. Jack Leverett was only trying to make it look like someone was breaking into the pawn shop. He was really trying to bust up the character wall on the other side that featured he and his mistress the night before. They go to pick up Leverett, but Ruskin's method acted has gotten the best of him and he thinks Jack is Trudy's killer. Adrian talks him down and the police are able to apprehend him without harm. Oh. So, that was Mr. Monk and the Actor.
Yeah, it was.
That was creepy.
Oh my god.
I did not. How did you do that so quietly?
Yeah, what?
Our Taco Bell is here?
Mm-hmm. Our Taco Bell has been delivered, everyone.
All the stops for season 5. We're getting some extra junk. Do you want to bring it in?
Hurry, delivery peasant. Hurry. Oh my gosh.
Some more where that came from.
Oh no, kiddo, what are you doing?
I want it in my bag.
I need all this. I thought you loved mild sauce. Oh yeah. It's here, ladies and gents. Let's eat this.
That's what no onions taste like.
Mmm.
Actually, it's really good.
That was real good.
Alright, we are back from our Taco Bell break.
Oh yeah, Taco Bell, smart check.
Okay, so what did you like about this episode?
Well, I liked a lot of things about this episode. But I like how Monk goes 2 times a week and Harold Crenshaw goes 3 times a week. What a loser.
What a loser.
What a loser.
What a loser. I like, this is in the same scene that you're talking about with Dr. Kroger. Mm-hmm. And for one, Monk is excited about his trip, obviously. But he gets to square 2. And then he asks, what square is Harold on? And he's like, I can't say that. So that was funny. But then in the next scene where he's with Natalie, she's like, square 2. Oh my gosh, welcome to square 2. That's so exciting. And he's like, what square are you on? She's like, oh, that's not important. I don't know. He's like, maybe like square 4 or 5. And she's like, yeah, that sounds about right. And she's like, you should be so proud of yourself. And he's like, no, that's square 5 talk. That was really cute.
I really like Natalie's new hairstyle to start off season 5.
Oh, I put Natalie hair, ha-cha-cha, with a little fire emoji.
Ha-cha-cha.
I drew it. I drew the fire emoji. I also like Monk's surprise face.
Oh, isn't he, what does he say? I don't have it. But it was so funny, he was like...
Because Randy's like, don't tell. Make sure you don't tell. The captain wants to tell you, but I want to be the one to tell you, so I just gotta tell you. Just be surprised. And then so the captain comes over and he's like, guess what? And Monk's like,
Yeah.
and Stottlemeyer's looking at him like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I'm just so surprised.
I like how Monk tries to impress the actor. What's his name?
Dave Ruskin.
Dave Ruskin. I like how Monk tries to impress him by doing his little spins. It's so funny.
Spins around the room. And then he doesn't want to use a wipe in front of him.
Oh, yeah. He's like, what are you doing, Natalie?
Yeah, well, he shakes his hand forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because Monk's like, oh, yeah, people exaggerate about that kind of stuff. It's not really that bad. And then he's like, oh, all right. And then he's like shaking his hand like... And Monk's just like, oh, my gosh. And then finally he lets go and he's like, oh, my gosh. And Natalie's like, oh, here's a wipe. And he's like, what are you doing?
He's like,
what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you, Natalie? It's so funny.
And, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And also, whenever he finds the teddy bear with the camcorder that's missing, and then he's like, I bet there was a camcorder in here. And they're like, yeah, that's good. And then Dave Ruskin shows up, and he's about to go into the backyard, Monk is, and then he's like, oh, wait, I think I should stay in here. And then he goes back to the teddy bear. He's like, I think there was a camcorder in here. And they're like, you already said that. I was just trying to impress him again. That was really cute.
Monk, I forgot in what tone he says this, but Monk he's talking about the glitter that he finds on the girl's hair, and he's like, bag it.
Stottlemeyer's like, oh yeah, this is good, bag it. And Monk's like, bag it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. I like how Randy wants Brad Pitt to play him in the movie, and then Dave Ruskin was like, because Randy's like, oh, have you heard anything about casting, for any other parts? Or what about for me? And he's like, yeah, I think they were talking to Brad about that. And he's like, oh, Brad Pitt? He's like, yeah, I think so. And he's like, oh my gosh, I gotta go call my mom. My girlfriend.
I gotta tell my mother, my girlfriend.
And then, of course, Stottlemeyer set him up. Like, thanks so much for doing that. It's like, no, it was my pleasure.
I really like how Randy thinks he's going to be played by Brad Pitt, but both Stottlemeyer and Randy are surprised when in this scene. Randy turns out to be a girl. Stottlemeyer gets a kick out of that. But then Stottlemeyer and Disher start making out in the middle of their scene. They're actors.
Oh. And then the two poor guys are sitting on the couch, like, touching. And then they're like, scoot away from each other. And Randy's like, oh no, Stottlemeyer says, that never happened.
Not once.
No, Randy's like, not even once.
Like as if
it might have been a possibility. It's like, not even once. That is so funny. I can't. That's too funny. When it's just funny because he walks in and he's like supposed to be this really hot girl. Like this hot girl walks in and she's like, hey guys.
So funny.
And you're like, oh no.
Stottlemeyer's casting is so good.
Yeah.
It's like an actual dude.
Yeah, with his mustache and everything. Yeah.
And then Randy comes in. And then while they're making out, he's like, oh, Randy. It's so funny.
They even use his name.
Yeah.
Like, they should have just changed his name. Like, oh yeah, it's not really like Lieutenant Randy Disher.
Because it's
somebody else.
Based on a true story. Oh my gosh, I want to meet them. Oh, you must be Captain Stottlemeyer and... Oh, you're Randy.
Yeah. That's awkward.
That's one of my holes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Me too. Okay, let's move on. I like how Monk is...
Sorry.
I like how Monk is trying to teach him... first, Randy comes through the hole in the wall, and he's like, Monk, you gotta see this.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, what? He's like, he's doing you. And then he goes in and they're like, yeah, his hands, I want to get that hand thing down. And so they start using their hands and, they're like, yeah, it's like this, and put their hands up. And then I like Monk's like explanation. I was going to write it down, but I forgot. His like explanation of how he does it or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And like, oh yeah, I'm doing this or whatever. And then also, it's a gift and a curse.
Oh, yeah.
It's a gift and a curse. He's like, ooh, I like that, yeah. It's a gift and a curse. No. It's a gift and a curse. Yeah, it's a gift and a curse. No. Here. Put your ear in my... Okay, yeah. It's a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift. And a curse. And a curse.
And a curse.
And a curse.
A gift and a curse. And then Natalie just walks out.
And he's like, what's wrong in there? Or what's wrong? And she's like, yeah, I just need some air. And he's like, yeah, there's plenty of air in there. There's lots of people breathing. And she's like, I don't know, Mr. Monk. It's kind of a little much. It's a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a curse and a curse. That's funny too.
Oh, I like when Natalie and Monk first arrive at the crime scene before Randy sticks his head through the wall. And Monk's like, they must be cave dwellers because they're drawing all over the walls. And she's like, no, this is a restaurant where they like draw people's faces. That's why it's called Sketchies. And he's like, no, they're cave dwellers. She's like, no, it's a restaurant. No, they're cave dwellers. She goes, fine, they're cave dwellers. Oh gosh. She goes, fine, they're cave dwellers.
Yeah, fine, they're cave dwellers. Jeez. I actually like how level-headed Monk is in this. Like I feel like they could have written it in a way where he, like they kind of do at first, where he kind of leans into it, like, yeah, do it this way. But really, as soon as he figures out, when he comes to his apartment, and he's being a weirdo, Monk, like, immediately is like, you're in my space, like, this is weird. Like, he's not like, oh, yeah, like, well, come on in. You know what I mean? They don't continue, like, being weird and then till the end where he has his breakdown.
Yeah.
Like, Monk he's aware, which obviously Natalie did warn him about this, but Monk still could have been, in, like, Monkland, like, oh, this is great and this is fun. He's like, no, this guy's weird.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Which, it could have been funny to see him, like, still like, what? We're best friends.
Yeah. And he also talks him down in the end, too. Like, that's his, like, another level-headed moment. Like, once he figures out, he's crazy, and then he's able to talk him down in the end, and he's calling him Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Because he keeps calling him Dave, and he's not responding, and he's like, Adrian, and he's like, what? Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then, he figures out his code.
Oh, yeah, so that was so creepy.
He's like, of course I know my code. It's Trudy's birthday. For the revolver.
Yeah, he's like, I figured out the code. Or you figured out my code. And he's like, I know my code. And you're like, that's creepy.
And also, I really, really, really like Randy's Here's What Happened. It wasn't needed at all.
Yeah.
But they just decided to put that in there. It was so funny. He's like, you know what? Here's what happened. And everyone looks at him like, what? And then he's telling the new cop or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I was here 10 minutes ago when Monk summed it all up. I was like...
When Monk told you.
Yeah.
That's even, like, more of a diss.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was here when she told you.
It was funny.
I forgot about that. I wonder why they did that. I guess, like you said, that wasn't really needed. Like...
They could have put that in any episode.
It was really, like, self-explanatory, like, what happened. Mm. Like, there was no mystery where sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, how did they do it? But, I mean, I guess you still didn't know that the caricature until they pieced it together. So there was still a little bit of a mystery as far as, like, putting all the pieces together. But it's like, I guess it's so short and, like, easy. They're like, oh, we'll have Randy do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, that's all I have.
My last thing is, like, okay, obviously this doesn't turn out well, but when the actor is trying to figure out Monk's why he does stuff, I just feel like that's, like, a really great scene, and it shows, like, from an outside stance that there's obviously, well, at least to, like, Ruskin, that there's obviously, like, more to Monk than his issues, and then just him being a detective. Because remember, he asks him, why do you do this? And he's like, it's my job. And he's like, no. There's a reason that you do this. I have to know why. Like, all of this stuff is surface level. It's surface. All of this twitching and touching things. There's a why. I need to know. And then he figures it out, obviously, like, which we know. But I just feel like it's interesting to, like, learn, like, to get more into Monk's psyche from the perspective of a new person coming in. Like, he sees it too, and he's like, you're on a mission. You're trying to find Trudy's killer, but it's not enough. Yeah. It'll never be enough. Yeah. And so, well, that's interesting.
So, what did you dislike about this episode?
That criminal, he was pretty unlucky. The first time he kills the girl was an accident. Mm-hmm. They were fighting over the tape. Mm-hmm. And she falls and hits her head. Mm-hmm. Like, he wasn't like, oh, you horrible lady, and tries to kill her. He's like, give me that tape. And she's fighting over it with him. And then she flies into the thing and hits her head. And then he's just trying to make it look like he broke into a pawn shop, but the guy was there with the gun. Oh, and then he's wrestling with the old man, and then he accidentally shoots him when they're fighting over the gun. And he's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, like, that's true. Both the things that he did were accidents. So, like, obviously he did kill 2 people or whatever, but it's like his crime, like, his only thing he was, like, morally doing wrong was cheating on his wife. Mm-hmm. And he was cheating on his wife and ends up killing 2 people. Yeah. So, like, it was kind of like, again, I felt like this episode was much more centered around Mr. Monk and the actor. Mm-hmm. So, the criminal was, like, not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I didn't like the actor because he was just too creepy. He just got so into his method acting. I'll talk about that later in plot holes.
Okay. Okay, so I put this, we already talked about it, but Randy gets the shaft, man. He thinks that Brad Pitt's gonna be him. Uh-huh. And then he ends up being a girl. Yeah. Like, which I will say, like, it is funny because Stottlemeyer's casting was really good. Natalie's, they didn't address it at all. Mm-hmm. Because Natalie's just, I mean, I guess a normal person who doesn't really have any, like Stottlemeyer has an interesting voice and an interesting look and an interesting mustache. Where Natalie's very, just normal looking person. Mm-hmm. But Randy is also. So I guess it's like their way of making that, obviously they were doing it to be funny, but like making it funnier by being like, well, Randy and Natalie are pretty normal people, so what could we do to make this like less normal? But I just felt like, it's so funny, like we were dying laughing, but I just felt bad for Randy because he's a girl.
Yeah. So that's all I had.
Oh, really?
I had one dislike.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously I didn't like the actor turning crazy. Yeah. But then they canceled the movie.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. I'm like, get someone else who's not crazy? I don't know. Yeah. And then my last thing is also how Monk is like just fine. Like I said, he was level-headed. And then at the end, the only reason he's like cuckoo or whatever is because of the whole, oh, Trudy wanted you to go with her. Like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I felt like that was kind of out of left field. Like, Monk was fine. It was one of those up until the end. Literally the very end. Like, he gets the gun away from the guy. He's like, yeah, come in. And the guy's like, oh, it's my fault. It's my fault. And Monk's like, it is my fault. And then he breaks down.
It was one of those teases like we see in the Trudy.
Yep,
which is basically this episode. Yeah. But with Trudy and Monk switched.
Yep. I noticed that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities. These episodes.
Where they set up the. Oh, I'm doing happy.
I'm doing good.
I'm on square 2.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Welcome back to square 1. Mhm. Yeah.
I also didn't like. Okay, I know I said that was my last one, but I didn't like. They had to choose the astronaut murder. It wasn't that good of an episode. They could have chosen. I get that he's like a celebrity.
Because, yeah, it wasn't about Monk, it was about the astronaut.
Yeah.
So they would have had to have chosen, like, they could have maybe done one about, like, Willie Nelson, or there's one with the Playboy.
Oh, yeah.
They could have done that.
Mm-hmm.
There's one called the TV Star. They could have done that one, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they didn't have to choose the astronaut. But it was cool that it was just recently.
Yeah.
Like a few episodes ago. So, it's actually very recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 episodes ago. So.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Do you have anyone for He's the Guy?
I do not.
Okay. I have one person and then one little tidbit here.
Okay.
Okay, so the very first scene where you see the whole gang together, and Stottlemeyer's going to tell Monk about the astronaut thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He mentions that there is someone in the car who's a producer of the movie named something Hoberman. And he's like, his name's Hoberman. And I immediately thought, oh, I see that name every single time Monk comes on. And so when you look at the credits, one of the executive producers of the show is David Hoberman. So they just got that from...
Yeah.
They just obviously... Which they do that all the time, but I noticed it. And then I was like, oh yeah, because there was a meme the other day in one of the Facebook groups that was like, is it just me or am I dyslexic? And it had executive producer David Hoberman, and it had a picture of a Doberman Pinscher next to it. And it was like, I see this every time. Like, every time it comes up, he sees... like David Doberman, and so I was like, "You're not alone. I see that every time."
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'll show you next time, but
okay. I don't really pay attention. I kind of jam. If paying attention, you'd be worried too. I'm always dancing. And
yeah, that's true. My next person, or my only real actual person, would be Stanley Tucci, who plays Dave Ruskin. Okay, and he was in Made in Manhattan. I guess he's more of a movie star, because I noticed him from Made in Manhattan. He was also in The Terminal. And then he's also a caller on Frasier. So on the TV show Frasier, they have people call in, because, he's a radio host. And they have famous people call in and pretend to be, like, people who need his help. Mm-hmm. And so he was on one of the episodes that has, like, Hilary Duff is, like, supposed to be his daughter. And then this lady from Roseanne's supposed to be his mother. And it's like this big call where everybody jumps on the line and they're like, hey, I need help. And then they're like, get off the phone. And then Hilary Duff's like, I hate my life. I'm running away. And so it was like putting a bunch of famous people into this one phone call. Mm-hmm. And he's on that phone call. And he plays Maury. So that's Stanley Tucci. Also, I'm sure this was exciting for the cast, because when it came down to the final 3 people of who was going to play Adrian Monk, Stanley Tucci was in the final 3 list, but he and the other guy who were on the list were not available, so they went with Tony Shalhoub.
That's a cool little Easter egg.
Yep. So if you watch it back again and you watch it like, could this guy be Monk? Like, could I picture him like with Sharona and with Natalie? It's like really weird where you're like, but it's hard because he's not trying to really be Monk. He's trying to be an actor trying to be Monk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like he's not trying his hardest to be normal Adrian Monk. He's being over the top, eccentric, weird, and not quite his character.
Does that mean we know who other cast members would be? Like, instead of Biddy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Someone else, or like...
I don't know, actually. We might dig...
Bonus episode.
Dig deep on that one. Yeah, I think... You want to move on?
Yeah.
Toby.
Junk time! It's junk time, everyone. Are you excited, little monk? He said yes.
Okay, so let me get... I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of full off my Taco Bell, but
let me... Oh gosh,
I'm going to
too loud for me to even...
I'm gonna do the Hot Cheeto challenge.
Oh gosh, this is too loud. See, these Twist & Shouts, they look full whenever you look inside, but as soon as you take them out, it's like no cream inside, nothing.
Well, I don't like double stuffed Oreos because I don't like the icing inside Oreos, so...
That's the best part.
That's why I buy the regular ones. So while you're eating that, let me ask you a question. Okay, Noah, so you're an actor.
I am.
So where would you draw the line at method acting? Like if you had to do what that guy had to do...
First of all, my theater teacher told me, like, never, ever, 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 ever method act. Because too many people she knows have just been sucked in. So, I wouldn't even try it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you would never even do it? You would never even try?
Yeah, never.
Like, no? I feel like he went with I feel like doing research for your role as far as, like, okay, how does he move his hands? How does he do this? But, like, go there and try to be him at his own crime scene, like, during a crime scene? Mm-hmm. That's a little much, like, in itself, let alone, like, I need to know the why. I need, like, really as an actor, and I'm obviously not telling people how to act. I'm not even an actor, but I'm just trying to think of what would I do. Like, as an actor, I would try not to get into somebody's, like, psyche like that, because it's, like, too, like you said, like your teacher said, it's too much. Keep it surface level. All those things that he was saying, like, this is surface level. All this touching, it's surface level.
Keep it that way.
Keep it that way. Just copy him. Like, it's no big deal. So what's your favorite role you've ever done?
Well, Kandyce. So right now I'm in the production for Shakespeare in the Park currently. I'm going to be Brutus.
Okay.
In one of the plays. But I'm also, like, the guy who, like, introduces the show. And I forgot who else, but I do, like, some weird monologue. Oh, Puck. Puck and Brutus, if you
Are those
know
from
who
particular Shakespearean plays?
Yes. So, like, Shakespeare in the Park, we're taking a bunch of Shakespeare plays and mashing it into one and, like, this is Romeo and Juliet, go. This is Julius Caesar, go. Right? So I'm going to be Brutus and Puck.
And what plays are those from, do you know?
Julius Caesar and Twelfth Night, I think.
Oh, fancy. Huh.
But my favorite role that I have been in would probably be Professor Moriarty, which is in Sherlock. Yeah. I was the evil man.
A lot of people know who that is, too. And I hear references like that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
so cool. Yeah. What else do I have for you?
What? Wait, guys. Okay, so basically, I want everyone to use the voicemail, right? So you guys, it's at the end in our outro. It has the number. So, like
Scrunchy Girl.
Like Scrunchy Girl. Please, 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 please use our voicemail. Please. So, I have an intro for us for our voicemail.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool.
Ready?
This is Adrian. Monk, thank you for calling my new answering machine. When you hear the beep noise, please speak into the telephone receiver and leave a message which I will play back and listen to later. This is the end of the message, and here is the beep I was talking about.
Hi, Junk Monk Podcast. This is Scrunchy Gal. I love my Monk box. Thank you so much. I have a question. What do you think Monk would do when he heard about the coronavirus? And how do you think he would prepare? Thank you. I hope you have a great day. And I love my box. I'm so grateful. Have a great day. Bye.
All right. So, Scrunchy Girl, thank you for using the voicemail.
That was also a surprise for Noah because he hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I have it. That was so nice.
His little face just lit up. Aww. So if you want Noah's little face to light up, just give us a call.
Aw, thank you, Scrunchy Gal.
That's awesome. Okay, so now...
the answer to that question. How do you think Monk would prepare for coronavirus?
So I'll just tell you what day it is right now. So it's March 12th. So people, at least in America, are, I feel like, hopefully at the height of the coronavirus, like, scare outbreak type thing. Mm-hmm. I know that our Walmart is out of toilet paper and Lysol. So I would think that Monk would be ahead of that. I would think that he would, as soon as he heard about it being in China, he probably would have stockpiled the Lysol. Yeah. And I'm not sure what's up with the toilet paper, to be quite honest. I don't know if he'd stock up on toilet paper, per se, but...
That'd make for a very interesting episode.
Yeah.
Where Natalie's like, relax, Mr. Monk, and he has, like, a giant truckload of wipes coming in.
Yes, that would be funny. We've seen him stock up on Sierra Springs before. Mm-hmm. Whenever he comes back from Mexico, he orders, like, 10,000 bottles or something crazy like that. So he has a hookup with the water. Mm-hmm. Like you said, I think he'd have a truckload of Lysol wipes.
Yeah.
Aerosol, I think he'd spray down Natalie every time she came in and out of his apartment.
In a hazmat suit.
He, of course, would stay in his apartment. He'd self-quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would like to go to the Nebraska where they have everything like, where they have the hazmat suits and everybody that comes in contact with you has to wear a hazmat suit and all of that. He basically would act like he has the virus, right?
Yes.
Without having it.
Yes.
He would go full quarantine mode, full stockpile mode.
Like, basically, Mr. Monk stays in bed times 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you notice, he has this little hutch thing where he has all the wipes and all the Ziploc bags and all the everything. So he'd stock up on his NyQuil and his Dayquil and his cough medicine and his Advil and...
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add to that?
No.
For Scrunchy
Besides, thank you. Thank you, Scrunchy Girl. I'm giving the microphone a hug right now.
He just did. That was a little weird, but I liked it.
Thank you.
It was sweet. All right. Junk time is over.
No.
Okay, Toby.
Plot holes. Okay. I'm starting off this plot holes fast and furious, Kandyce.
Okay.
With my method acting plot hole. It's impossible to get sucked into character that quickly. Method acting takes time, and this guy, it seems like he accidentally stumbles into this, which no, in method acting you make a choice to become this character. So it took him like 2 days to be like touching like
yeah. Which, I mean, I feel like they probably were thinking, well, if Natalie prefaces that this guy has done this before, that he obviously has some type of issue, like not just, like he's not a normal person, you know what I mean? Or he's not a normal actor. Like most actors don't go to rehab without ever having taken a drink.
Yeah.
Like, you don't become an alcoholic without drinking alcohol kind of thing. So I feel like maybe they thought that if they had Natalie say something like that would kind of cover that plot hole. But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You've been plot holed.
After every single plot hole, we just say that.
You've been plot holed.
Like, okay, so my first one would be, how would the actor have known that Trudy wanted Monk to go with her?
I don't know.
There's no way. As soon as he said that, he was like, he wanted me, as soon as he said she wanted me to go with her, and Monk's like, has this confused look on his face, Monk's like, no. And then the actor's like, yeah, she did. It was my fault. She just wanted me to go with her. And then Monk says, oh yeah, I remember that. She did. I'm like, okay, how did you know that? If he didn't remember that until just now, how would you have ever known that?
Never spoke about it. Because it's not like, oh, I'm going to play Tom Cruise in a role. Oh, I know everything about Tom Cruise now.
Yeah.
Oh, remember your dog from 4 years ago that died?
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, wait, I do. Like how... You've never mentioned that.
Yeah. You've been plot holed.
I like it. I honestly just don't understand why they would make Disher and Stottlemyre, or Disher change roles, change gender roles, and have them kiss. Like, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make any logical sense, really.
Because again, this is not like, oh, I'm taking a readaptation of like a Shakespearean play, and I'm flipping it on its head.
Yeah,
it's like
will be a guy and Romeo will be a girl. No.
Yeah, it's just like you're taking a real life event and you're saying all of this is based on a true story, and it's almost 95% accurate, except for this one detail where the guy is a girl and then they like each other in real life, like, or in this universe. But not in real life, because they're both dudes.
Yeah.
I only have one more.
Okay.
So, what happens to the actor when they go to arrest Jack Levitt in the car dealership, right? Because they know that he's killed 2 people, but Dave has just gone in there and tried to kill him and brought a gun, was waving it around.
What would happen to him?
Yeah, like what? Well, that's what I'm saying.
Rehab.
They were like...
Dr. Kroger.
Exactly. Well, that's what I would think. I would think he would start going to therapy, but that's what Monk does. So it's like too much method acting again, maybe?
Yeah.
Question mark? But my point is like he basically committed attempted murder. And their summary of like Monk saying, oh, well, yeah, they canceled the movie. And that the guy doesn't want to play a role that's so dark. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, that's how you summed it up? What about him? Like, he didn't go to jail. He wasn't arrested. He tried to kill somebody. Like, it doesn't matter how far into method acting that you go. If you commit a crime, you commit a crime.
Yeah.
Have you been plot holed?
You know what? You've been plot holed.
Yay! Do you have any more or no?
I do not.
You don't?
No.
Okay. Nobody's been debunked.
Debunked.
We need a sound for that when it comes up. How crazy was Monk this episode?
Alright, Kandyce. My how crazy was Monk this episode out of 10 Monk Volvers.
Monk Volvers?
Monk Volvers.
Like revolvers?
His revolver. His little Monk Volvers. I called them Monk Volvers because it wanted to seem clever.
Oh.
But okay.
You've been debunked.
That's to say what? Oh man, that's being cut out of the show. Okay.
Alright. So mine is out of 10 Adrian Monk wigs.
I was thinking that.
Because when he's in the garage, it shows it from behind. And you're like, oh, Monk is kind of... And you're like, question mark? Who is that? And then it's like, boom, and shows around his face. And you're like, oh, he's wearing an Adrian Monk wig.
That's a good looking wig.
It's cute. So, let's go through our crazy moments. What do you have?
Monk fakes being surprised.
Oh. Okay, the glitter. And he has the glitter on him. He's trying to play it cool the whole time, but then when he has glitter, he's like, it won't come off. It won't come off. And then he's trying to rub it off on Natalie.
Monk tries to impress the actor, of course.
Yep. He lets the actor kick him out of his own house.
And last but not least, he rambles on to Natalie in the middle of the night of how annoying it was to be rambled on to in the middle of the night.
And my last but not least is he uses the butt of the gun to smooth out the sticker on the car. And
They're taking turns
using the gun. And then finally they both realize, wait, the gun. And then they dive after it. So, yep. So out of 10
Adrian Monk wigs, for me, it is a 6 out of 10.
For me, it is a 2 out of 10.
Really?
Yes. Okay.
I'll change it to a 4.
Okay.
I was in a rush.
The actor is way crazier than Monk. And relativeness, remember how we kind of talked about relativeness? I'm like, okay, when he's on the jury, I kind of give him a higher score because once you compare him to other people, it's like, yeah, he's crazy. Compare him to the actor, Monk is the sane one by far.
Well, yeah.
And the stuff that he does that's crazy, like he doesn't want glitter on him. For me, the craziest thing is obviously the gun. Like,
yeah,
you were taking turns with a gun. Like, that was like, I mean, that was silly.
That's a 4 out of 10 for me. I'm changing it from 6 out of 10 to 4 out of 10.
All right. That's 2 out of 10 for me, for Monk wigs, and...
Rate this episode. All right, Kandyce. What would you rate this episode?
Well, I guess do you want me to say my spiel first? I feel
like they know your spiel.
Okay, fine. You tell me what my spiel is.
Me?
Yeah.
Kandyce's spiel is basically every Monk episode deserves a 10, and Adrian Monk loves 10s. So, instead of let's say a 4 out of 10, it's a 10.4. That's it.
And the highest is?
And the highest is 2 10s.
All right. So I thought this episode was pretty strong for a season premiere. It's probably my favorite season premiere so far out of all the other ones. It was really fun watching somebody else try to walk like one day in Monk's shoes and completely fail.
Yeah.
I feel like it actually shows Monk's strength in that way.
Yeah. He said, how did you do it?
Yeah.
During one of the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah. And when the actor breaks down, he gets mad when he's supposed to be doing his scene, and he's like, how can you, everybody's hats are all messed up.
Yeah.
And then he storms off. Like, Monk would never storm off. He's holding it in. He's like, oh, the hats. And then either they move the hats around or he pushes through and he has to just do it, right? So, total fail by the Dave guy.
Yeah.
Also, that's so cool that they're making a movie about them.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool. Even though it obviously falls through. It was actually really exciting to see how excited they were about it.
Yeah.
And getting to go through the whole process of making a film that was, about them. But I really liked it. So for me, it is a 10.9.
Really? Mm-hmm. For me, this is a 6 out of 10.
Okay. And why, Noah? Why? Tell me why.
See, I would have rated it a 6 out of 10. Or I would have rated it a 4 out of 10, I mean. But I felt like I don't like this episode, but I know it's a good episode. Because I could tell other people are going to like this episode, but I just really don't. I don't know why.
That's fair enough.
I just don't like it.
Yeah. I like that, though. I like how you can tell when it's supposed to be good or you're supposed to like it and everybody else probably does, but there's just something about it for you that doesn't match.
Yeah. What was the one that we were talking about last night? That you were like, I don't like it, but I know it's good.
Manhattan.
Mr. Monk Takes Manhattan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Mr. Monk Takes Manhattan. It's one of those like this episode.
It's in New York. It's supposed to be exciting and fun. And then he's, supposed to be like waiting for the guy to like question him about Trudy's death, and then you get that great scene at the end. But just overall, it's like, it's okay. Like Savannah liked it a lot more than I did. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
it's one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So 6 out of 10 and a 9 out of 10.
All right, so we've learned our lessons, so now at the end of the season, when we average all these scores, we have to make sure we're as accurate as we possibly can be, because we done learned our lesson in the wrap-up. We were like, ooh, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think we are done. Are we done? I think we're done.
Howdy ho, you handsome hunks. Grab a snack. Gain some chunk.
If your day is great or really sunk, we hope to help you shake the funk.
So if you're good to hear some junk,
buckle up.
It's the Junk Monk Podcast. See ya.
Podcast. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Junk Monk Podcast. We'd love to hear from you, so please rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, follow us at Junk Monk Podcast on Instagram.
If you want to know more about Kandyce, she's at Hearteds and Hardhats on Instagram. And if you want to know more about me, Noah L., too bad. Also, you can catch up on Monk with Amazon Prime Video.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast.
You'll thank me later.